Every time someone says I'm snorting a line of cocaine, it sounds like that. I wanted to take a second to talk directly to you all, because it's been a bit since I provided an update on how I'm doing, and the whole Twitter account drama thing from last week really did take the wind out of my sail. First of all, I hope everyone's doing good, staying safe, and supporting the rest of your fellow humans as best you can in these trying times. Hashtag Black Lives Matter, obviously. The past few weeks have been interesting for me, and I'm not about to go into another over-emotional tirade about mental inconsistency or anything, but since that video I released about, quote, being in pain, things have gotten better for what it's worth. I obviously can't change the way that I feel about COVID and about family members passing away and things like that, but I do feel like I'm in a little bit of a better emotional state, even though things just throughout the world aren't going right now. But I've been reevaluating a lot of what I'm doing with content, and that includes things like public persona, plans for the future, and taking a look at what I've done to help me get to where I am now. 25,000 people is a lot of people to follow a passion project like this, and it's humbling that so many of you are invested in the Siege esports ecosystem as I am, but I feel like the amount of content that I've put out since coming back from the 6 Invitational has been extremely lacking. As a creator, I don't really like looking at my recent upload streak and seeing a vast majority of them have been an episode of Hammered. I love podcasting and I love the discussions that we have, but what I've built on a foundation of short-form scripted videos, there's been an abundant lack of those recently. To me, that's a little discouraging. This week, I had almost the entire week off. I had plans for about 5 videos and started with the goal of trying to get them all out. Not a single one of them ended up getting done except this one, and this one shouldn't even have been the priority. The week leading into Siege Pro Circuit stuff, and I've produced practically nothing. I went to bed every night, hyped myself up for what I wanted to make in the morning, then would get up after, you know, a 10, 11 hour sleep, and then just procrastinate and play other games or stream, and then end off the night doing the exact same thing I did the previous day. I am literally one of the biggest failures that I have ever seen. I feel like I'm letting myself down whenever I let this happen in an off season that's had so much stuff go down, and I don't feel like I've offered my 2 cents or done the stuff that's helped me build the foundation of content that I currently have. I've had down weeks like this before and just pushed through it because I recognize that not producing anything would be a letdown, but this week, just couldn't push through it at all. Right now, there are only 2 things that I have to worry about in life. My work schedule, I just spit something out, and content production. The time I don't spend at my job is time that I can spend working on making more stuff, but sometimes I just totally miss the mark. Maybe this week was really difficult because nearly losing all access to Twitter was a little more devastating than it seemed. I honestly wish I knew why I just couldn't get anything done. With all of this said though, I feel like I'm still in a pretty prime position to take advantage of this free time that I have this summer. With all the new league competition starting up next week, there's going to be an endless cycle of more stuff to make content on, and I feel like I usually make stuff during the off season and not stuff while a season is currently ongoing. This can change and translate to everything that I've made so far, the news pieces, the predictions, the reviews, the interviews, and more, as well as 2 projects that I currently have in the works that I hope to release in the very near future. Thing is, I don't want to say anything publicly that you might see as a promise of things to come. I need to do a better job of keeping promises from myself before I say anything out loud, because you're going to hound me for missing something if I can't deliver when I say I will. I have to deal with how I work with internal deadlines. I do all of this stuff for Siege without a serious paycheck while maneuvering around everything else in my life, and committing to it more and more has been harder than I thought. But I have the time, the want, and the resources right now to make this project, this brand, I guess, into something more than it already is. So for right now, I'm gonna buckle down and get back to the grind as we enter the few final days before everything we know about Siege Esports gets a facelift on Monday. Less excuses and more production. There's a dream job waiting for me on the horizon now. I just have to put more effort in there to prove that I can claim it. That's all from me. Please be sure to follow my Twitter, my Twitch, and this YouTube channel for all of the coverage that I can possibly muster while we launch into this new format. And I do want to thank you once again for helping us get a quarter of the way to a 100,000 subscriber plaque. See you next week. Peace.